This episode is brought to you by FX's Love Story, John F. Kennedy Jr. and Carolyn Bessette. Join host Evan Ross Katz on the official podcast for FX's new series, Love Story, John F. Kennedy Jr. and Carolyn Bessette, and go behind the scenes with cast and special guests, featuring Sarah Pigeon, Paul Anthony Kelly, Grace Gummer, and Naomi Watts. FX's Love Story, John F. Kennedy Jr. and Carolyn Bessette, wherever you listen to podcasts.
LinkedIn is pretty great at a lot of things, like helping you tap into the latest trends and insights in your field. We cannot stop your coworker from tapping her pencil. LinkedIn can help you find new jobs that align with your career goals. We cannot help you find the source of that weird smell in the office fridge. Ew. And while we can't stop your coworkers from bringing their hobbies into the office, LinkedIn can help you bring your career to the next level. LinkedIn is the network that works for you.
Happy Valentine's Day. This is a bonus episode. It's a live show we did last month in the Corazon Cinema in Hoxton with our very special guest, Helen O'Hara from Empire Podcast and Empire Magazine. We had such a blast recording this. The audio quality isn't perfect, but look, forgive us because it's a live show. And of course, we'll be back tomorrow, Sunday, as we always are, with our latest movie review. Bye.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming. Hi, I'm Dave. This is my wife, Kathy.
Hello.
And this is the Cinemile, the podcast where we walk home from the movies. But we're actually at the movies today. There's going to be no walking. We're seated in these comfortable director's chairs at the Curzon Hoxton in London with a lovely live audience. Hello, give us a shout, live audience.
Hello.
Oh, my God. Beautiful.
This is being recorded, by the way.
Yes, you are being recorded for posterity
or evidence.
Yeah. Well, it is a podcast. You all knew that when you were coming out. It said it on the thing, right? And of course, we are going to be talking about, move on slide, what happened to RomComs after the meet cute. So we're going to be defining a RomCom. We're going to be talking about the history of the RomCom. We're going to be doing a post-mortem on the RomCom when it died. I don't know if you knew that it died, but it's good news. It's being reborn. Joining us to talk about this subject is a guest who you know her best from the Empire Film Podcast, from Empire Magazine. She's the author of Women vs. Hollywood. She's the host of the Bah Humbug podcast. Helen O'Hara!
Hello.
Right, so let's get into it. What makes a rom-com? That's the question we want to ask first. What are the key ingredients that every rom-com needs to have to make it a rom-com? I'm going to start with Kathy. Give me one, and then we're throwing out to the audience. So get your rom-com ingredients ready, people. Kathy,
we've got a rolling mic.
What's the key ingredient of a rom-com?
The key ingredient is that something's keeping the protagonists apart. I think that would be my key ingredient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me an example of something that's keeping them apart.
Like
Distance.
if your best friend's engaged to someone else.
Classic.
And you want to break up the wedding.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very specific
that.
example. We've all been there. Helen, give me a rom-com trope.
People live in suspiciously nice apartments for their income bracket.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes, very good.
Everything's a bit glowy, in other words.
I also think you've got to have an airport dash or some sort of dash.
A run for love.
A run for love.
Yeah.
Yeah. Has anybody, hands up, this is a podcast, so I'll tell them if anyone has a hands up. Has anyone done an airport dash? Train station dash?
Any other kind of run for love.
No one's ever run for love. You
Running
walked for love?
Running for charity doesn't count.
Yeah.
No.
No?
Has anyone ever showed up on someone's doorstep and said, is it raining? I hadn't noticed? I do say to Dave every time it rains.
Let's make this easier. Every time.
Throw it out to the audience.
It gets thin. Let's start simple. Is anyone in love? Is people laughing?
I happen to know some of you are married, right? So you need to put your hands up. Okay.
No, I want the audience to tell us, though, and we've got Mel on the mic.
Belle.
Oh, my God.
Thank you, Belle.
She clarified that it was
I'll
Belle.
cut that out, Belle, as well, don't worry.
We've got
complete editorial control.
We've got Belle on the mic, and we want to hear from you guys other ingredients on a rom-com, because there's lots of them.
Let's go. Hands up. Who's got a rom-com?
Yes.
Right at the back. Here we go. Rom-com ingredients.
And it's Chantal from the Way They Were podcast.
Hi, Chantal.
Yes, hi. The sassy slash slutty slash wisecracking best friend.
It's like a tongue twister you've done there, Chantal.
Yeah, amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, the best friend's
Say that 10
always
times
much
fast.
slushier than the main character.
Yes.
Yes. Main characters aren't allowed to be slutty.
No.
No.
But is also really enabling the main character usually, and encouraging them past their own, their
Yeah,
own
she's like, you need to be more
demureness.
slutty.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like me, your slutty best friend. Okay, what else is there? What else? Give us some more right here. Right here.
Jack.
Belle, you've got your work cut out for you. Right over here. We'll fill the space. He's got a good one, I know it. Are you in love, sir?
No. Thank you for asking. A romantic rival.
Oh, romantic rival.
Yeah.
That's a good
Yes.
one.
That's a really good
The
one.
Bill Pullman
Yes.
The Baxter
to your
facade.
Tom Hanks.
Yeah. And they have
Yeah.
to be like absolutely awful as well. Don't they? The romantic rival has to. Oh no, you're disagreeing. Get on that mic.
Not necessarily, because like Sleepless in Seattle, he was such a nice guy.
No, that's
Yeah,
true.
he
He
was
didn't.
lovely.
wasn't the guy.
He didn't
wasn't
deserve
the
it.
guy.
Round of applause for
Yes.
the rival in Sleepless in
Bill
Seattle.
Pullman.
Like,
Bill
The way
Pullman.
they
Yeah.
work podcasts, love him.
The guy who knew that you wanted 10 plates for your service.
Yeah.
Like, it makes sense.
Because
12
eight
is
is
too
too
many
few,
and 8 is
right?
too few.
Mm-hmm.
I would have married him.
I just want to say I'm not walking out. My food is ready.
Okay.
Oh, I see.
Well, look, you gave us your insights.
Is there anybody here who has a really rom-commy job?
Mm.
Any of you have a rom-com job?
A job,
You can just
rom-com,
shout it
a rom-com
out.
job.
Any
Shout out your
florists?
rom-com job.
Anyone
Anybody
running
a florist?
quirky bookshop?
Bookshop and florist are the most rom-com jobs,
Yeah.
right?
Journalist. A lot of journalists. Anybody
Journalist, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone?
Architect.
Guys, what,
Yes,
what
I
do you
heard
do?
Architect.
Architect? Someone's an architect? Oh, it's a big job. Oh, yeah. You can't be an architect and come here.
You can-
So they're doing more important things.
You can maybe be a doctor, but you should probably be a pediatrician if you're a doctor, or
No,
a veterinarian would
Doctor?
do. Yeah.
No, that's not right. Doctors and veterinarians, they're the rivals. They're the romantic rivals.
Oh, well, not
Yeah. No, the struggling author is the protagonist, right? And how is he to compete
usually.
with the wealthy doctor?
But wedding
right?
planner,
Yeah.
doctor. But
Oh,
pediatrician.
that's true.
But pediatrician, you can't argue with a pediatrician.
That's true.
They're
I've
helping
tried.
sick kids.
I've tried.
I do
I'll
think as
tell you
well,
what's wrong with my children.
Dave, you just said he, the protagonist, but I do think a key factor of good rom-coms is that the woman's the lead.
Yes.
And for a long
yes.
time, it was our only
Round
genre.
of applause for women.
Yeah, it was really the
Yeah.
only genre, like in the 80s and 90s, particularly the 90s, where like a woman had a lead role. And we'll get to it later, but the men started taking
The
that
men
from
took it
them.
over.
So
We sure
that's,
did.
I think, the female protagonist. Any other ideas on what makes
Anyone
a good
got
rom-com?
the meet cute, right? You got to have a meet cute.
Cute, yes.
Has anyone got a good meet cute story here? No one. Who's
yes,
in love?
yes.
Oh yeah! Oh my God! You've got a meet cute story.
You waved
Belle,
away
you
for
should
the
just
mic.
sit in the middle in row 2 here. I think.
I have to warn you that I'm one of those people that if like the teacher asks a question and no one answers, I will answer.
Great.
Oh, I'm,
Okay,
I'm
great.
that
I'm
as
really
well.
sorry.
Yes.
You can just keep that microphone then.
Yeah, I'll just. If
We'll
you
just keep
wanna sit here,
talking to you.
Belle.
Yeah.
I don't know how good this is. Now that I've said it was good. My
You've
boyfriend
promised a lot.
and I met because I was at the Edinburgh Fringe and he was performing in a show. He was in a
That's
Blues
cute.
Brothers tribute act.
Wow.
He's the tall one. I have never seen the Blues Brothers.
Oh,
I
wow.
got dragged along because a friend of a friend was one of the backup dancers, and I was
This
like,
is a rom-com.
I was like, I don't get this. What is this? Okay, this is fine,
You were like, but what about that big tall glass of water
right? And I
on
didn't.
stage?
I didn't give a shit. Are we allowed to curse? And then
I'll edit it out.
and then he made a joke. He ad-libbed a joke with the audience, and I was like, that was funny. That was a funny joke. Who is that guy? And we
Sorry,
ended
is this
up-
in the middle of the show? You're pointing at him.
No,
and
no,
saying,
no.
Oh, right.
In my head,
afterwards.
this
Okay.
happened.
Mentally.
Oh, it's in your
Mentally.
head. Okay.
In my
right.
brain, I was like,
Yeah.
I must know who this man is.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting invited out with the cast because of the friend of a friend. And I sort of sidled up and was like, your joke was very funny. It's a good joke.
That was your opening line.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're the slutty best friend, though.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
God!
yeah.
Slut shaming.
No, this is good.
He didn't ask for my number, didn't do anything because he was having such a slutty summer at the Fringe that he was afraid that if he showed interest in me, his friends would warn me off of him.
Right.
And he actually liked me, so he waited until everyone had left.
Slutty Summer at the Fringe 2023.
Yeah. And the rest is history. We've been together for like 6
Well,
years.
congratulations.
Gorgeous.
That's
Big round of
beautiful.
applause.
That is a rom-com meet
And,
cute.
yeah, I actually think it is because like humor being the thing that gets somebody to look at you twice is very rom-com.
It's
So
true.
yeah.
If Kathy had come up to me when we first met and said your joke was very funny, putty in her hands. But no, what actually happened was we were both running rival bookshops in Piccadilly Circus. And and I bought her shop out, and she was like, "How about this guy? Let's fall in love." I think we'll move on unless anybody has any brilliant rom-com ingredients that we have missed let's move on. Now, everybody's familiar with the rom-com to not rom-com scale. It goes from left to right, rom-com to not rom-com. We're going to attempt between all of us here to put them all on a scale. These are just examples here. Obviously, when Harry Met Sally is the most rom-coms of rom-coms on the rom-com end, and then at the other end you've got The Notebook, which is all rom no com.
Well, rom no com, yeah.
No
sad
rom,
com.
no com there. And then you 50 Shades of Grey, which really has no rom or com, but
What's
but
it doing
it is
there?
funny.
It's very funny.
What about, and then I'd love actually somewhere in the middle for me. What do we think? Oh, no,
Is
everyone-
there a problem that all the
people
women
want it
are
this way?
terrible?
Yeah, people this way. Okay, we've got a not rom-com movement for Love Actually. Sorry, Helen, what were you going to say?
Well, I mean, because the women are not well served by the story,
Yeah.
are they? If we're honest.
Let's get into it.
Any of the women with an opinion end the film unhappily,
Yeah, fair.
famously. So that's a little bit of look. I love bits of that film, and I still defend it and still watch it most Christmases, but I don't think it's good.
Is it a rom-com though?
No, it's not rom-com.
Is it a rom-com?
I think it's more on the. I think it wants to be,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure it is.
I think Richard Curtis took it too far. Like, he started kind of spoiling the genre for us by making Hugh Grant the lead and not a woman the lead in some of his earlier films, but it worked because he's brilliant, like My Best Friend's Wedding and Notting Hill. But then in this one, he's like, let's...
Four weddings.
Oh, 4 weddings, pardon me. And now he's like, let's have 10 male leads who all treat women like shit. And it just didn't really work, did it?
Yeah, but isn't that more reflective of actual life?
Yeah, but not what we want in a rom-com.
No, of course not.
No.
That's a good point. Rom-coms need escapism,
Yeah.
Yes.
right? They are escapism, right? Because the world is a real miserable place.
Yeah, exactly,
In
yeah.
reality.
We need rom-coms more than ever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right, what about any other suggestions? Pretty Woman? Where would Pretty Woman go? Rom-com? You thinking rom-com? Towards rom-coms? Everybody agree with that? Gives a big cheer if you think Pretty Woman is a rom-com. What if it's not a rom-com? Yeah, love that.
I don't think it's a rom-com
Oh my god, audible gasps.
because it's not funny. It's not a comedy.
Hello.
Hello, Anna.
I was just going to say, if, surely by the same reasoning, the women are treated really badly in Love Actually, Pretty Woman isn't exactly all for the women. So
No.
if we're going with that argument, don't they both go out?
I mean, yeah, I think there's Pretty Women to me is a bit of a it's more of a margin call, to be honest, because there is the escapist fantastical element. Like, you don't have to be a prostitute to like the idea of somebody giving you lots of money and buying you clothes. But it is also a bit, when you go back and watch it now, it is a bit more troubling than
it's
it
a bit
was
murky,
maybe.
isn't it?
It's a bit
Yeah.
murky is a good word. Yeah.
Let's put it right here in the middle then.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Middle of the
somewhere
scale.
On the scale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other classic rom-coms anyone wants to put on the rom-com, not rom-com scale? There we go, we got one here. Broadcast news. Oh my god, where does that go?
I mean, I think it takes itself a bit maybe seriously to be a rom-com almost. I think some of these have a lightness to them that it maybe doesn't. I think it's the kind of rom-com, a bit like Annie Hall, that wants men to like it, and therefore is a little bit more skeptical of happy endings and stuff. I mean, Annie Hall to me, I know that, again, men and cineasts and cinephiles tend to name it as the greatest rom-com ever made, and I think that's because they are fundamentally sometimes hostile to the genre and don't like a happy ending and are suspicious of a happy ending. And of course, if we think about it rationally, lots of us have lots of suspicions about happy endings, right? But it's still a function of the romance genre, and I think they have a place on screen.
I think that's a good point you raise, Helen. Does a rom-com, can a rom-com exist without a happy ending? There are examples of that, right?
Yeah, My Best Friend's Wedding, they don't end up together.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting. Very unusual. I still class it as a rom-com, though, because it's a romantic centre plot and it's a comedy.
Yeah.
And it's got Julia Roberts
That is
in
a
it.
funny movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she ends up with the gay friend, and I think that's another trope of rom-coms. It's a very gay-friendly space. There's typically often a gay friend, and probably again in the 90s where it was unusual to have female protagonists, it was also unusual to have gay characters.
Any gay characters?
So they kind of ended up or in tangentially ones we were saying earlier, like Father of the Bride, where you would have had the gay wedding planner. Similar, we would have had one in First Wives Club, which isn't quite a rom-com but is a female movie, and that had a gay best friend, so it was kind of like a safer space, I guess. So yeah, it was really interesting when we were thinking about this. We had the best brainstorm ever last Friday where we just all talked about rom-coms for an hour on a Zoom call. And yeah, all these little elements are really interesting when you unpack it. And then we're going to go through them now, aren't we, Dave? Kind of
I think
as the years.
We're going to go right back to the beginning. This is for all our listeners, you can't see this, but we're flashing up the entire history of the rom-com. I mean the whole thing. This is it from beginning to end. It starts, of course, as you all know, in ancient Greece in 1200 BC. Now, who can name for me a classic ancient Greek rom-com? Helen, you've got one.
I actually do. I went
Yeah.
to see a play, I think it's a Sophocles, at the Globe a few years ago called Helen. I just wanted the ticket stub with my name on it, if I'm honest. And it was about, the idea was that Helen of Troy survived Troy and went to hide in Egypt, where her husband Menelaus rocks up to look for her. And there's a whole series of comic misunderstandings before they actually find each other again. And certainly, the weird thing is, I looked it up on Wikipedia when we were talking about it, and it's described as a tragedy. But the Globe definitely played it as a comedy. So now I'm confused at my own memory of it. But that to me was kind of played as a rom-com. And having done absolutely zero research before going to that play and just rocking up, like I said, because it was my name, I was expecting a tragedy and then got there and was like, oh, this is
Pleasant
fun.
surprise.
I'm having fun.
Well, I did some research, and this is from a website called wikipedia.com, and it says that comedies, in relation to ancient Greek rom-coms, comedies rooted in the fertility rites and satyr plays of ancient Greece have often incorporated sexual or social elements.
Wow, Dave.
Right? So, Kathy, what's your favourite ancient Greek rom-com?
Do you know, I actually did Greek and Roman studies in first year of
Oh,
university.
my God.
And failed it and had to do repeat. So I don't know. I can't name one.
I'd reject them all.
Yeah.
Did that same question come up in the test?
No, I spark noted some of them. So when the Odyssey comes out, I'll be able to do a good review on that.
Okay, excellent.
But I don't believe it's a rom-com.
What about when Hercules met Seleucus?
Dave, skip past this part.
No,
of the
obviously
presentation.
the one and only correct answer to this question is, of course, My Big Fat Greek Wedding, which is the definitive ancient Greek rom-com.
The problem is none of us fancy Eight and Shaw anymore, so we can't watch
Kathy,
that
we
now.
can't. Don't drag us into
We
it.
can't start on
And just like that,
again.
Quagmire will be here all night.
I can't watch this film ever again.
No, obviously Shakespeare was the actual beginning of the rom-com, right? Right, Helen?
Much Ado is a classic rom-com structure apart from the threat of death, which is not so common in the sort of 90s and 80s heyday. But yeah, Much Ado About Nothing is a fantastic rom-com to me because it is all about the misunderstandings, people letting their ego get in the way of getting together. Benedict and Beatrice are basically, Lizzie and Darcy, a couple of hundred years early. But that is a fantastic rom-com relationship. It's amazing. Love it.
I just think Michael Keaton and Keanu Reeves shouldn't be in Shakespeare adaptations. They just
How-
look wrong in that,
how
don't
But
they?
Dave, you know
dare
they
you.
weren't in the original play, right?
What?
Have you? I mean, Keanu might have been. He is an immortal. But
It's true.
have you seen Keanu in that outfit? He absolutely belongs in that film,
He does rock
which
that
is
outfit.
all about people being super hot.
Yeah.
Fair.
That's what Shakespeare was looking for, really. That was his
Also, this
intention.
is why we invited Helen on,
Yeah.
because we're complete plebs and Helen actually knows Shakespeare and we don't.
Yeah, we're not. It's not the podcast where you walk home from the Globe. What about A Midsummer Night's Dream? I've never seen it. Have you?
Oh no, it's great. If you saw anybody here go to the Bridge production a couple of years ago, right? So I
One
mean,
person.
it's fantastic. It's all about people swapping partners, getting confused about who they should actually be with, and being with the wrong person, and then the scales falling from their eyes. I mean, yes, okay, in that case, there's fairies who are enchanting people, and there's a bit of like hocus pocus with that stuff. But the basic spine of the kind of misunderstandings and the looking for love in all the wrong places kind of stuff is all there.
What about An Airport Dash?
Kinda, because they're all chasing each other around the
Around the
forest.
airport,
Yeah.
Terminal 2.
Well, Forest of Arden, Terminal 2, very similar, very, very similar.
Tell me, who's Stanley Tucci playing here? A little horny demon with his...
I think
what's
he was
that about?
Pan, wasn't he? Wasn't he
Pan?
Pan in that production?
Don't look at us, we have not seen it.
It's been a while since I saw that one, but I think he was.
Not
Also,
fu-
speaking of airport dashes, Dave forgot the laptop earlier and ran back to our hotel and ran back again.
I did.
So excuse him, he's a bit sweaty.
Classic hotel dash. Then, of course, movies happened. As we all know.
Yeah, we're skipping Jane Austen, but her too, but movies.
Yeah, of course.
Oh yeah, yeah, of course. What there's been movies about those books, so that counts. So there was, movies where I don't know if everybody knows this, but they first started out without any sound, right?
What?
It was what they were called silent movies, and but they had rom-coms too. The two that are most attributed with kicking off the rom-com genre are these two: Sherlock Jr. and Girl Shy, both from 1924. Helen,
Has anyone seen these films?
hands up if you've seen either of these films.
There's a hand up. Incredible.
My God.
Yes.
No, it's the correct answer.
Can we get a roaming mic?
Congratulations.
Yes. Can we get a roaming mic? Tell us what they're like.
Yeah, you now have to
Oh
tell
no,
us
you're
all
on
about
the
these
spot.
two
Oh
films.
no.
So I saw Sherlock Jr. about 12 years ago at university.
Great.
Isn't it good?
It was good. I prefer the cameraman.
I do. I prefer the general, but
Oh.
we kind of
Oh,
everything.
hello.
Look, we all have our preferences. But clearly none of us prefer Sherlock Jr. It's good though.
But it is a nice little sort of like shy guy doing his best, kind of a, comedy.
Does he get the girl in the end?
Well, no spoilers, but 100% yes.
Oh, fantastic. Great.
Phew.
And what about Girl Shy? Was the girl shy by the end?
That one I don't remember.
You don't know? Nobody knows this one? We
So when we put
did
this
so
in
much
our-
research for this podcast.
When we put this in the shared note stock, we all thought someone else would look that
yeah. I thought Helen would know about the silent here. Or
Sorry,
Kathy maybe.
I did. Yeah.
But do you know what? We do know about screwball comedies. We've seen these.
Yeah.
So obviously in the 1930s and 1940s, the screwball comedy came out, which was, I learnt this the other day, which was a screwball is a baseball term for when you throw the ball a little bit funny, and everyone's like, what's that about?
Ooh, how'd it go that way?
That's not how you're
When
supposed
you're
to
like
throw the ball.
bending bullets like
Yeah.
James McAvoy in that film with Angelina Jolie.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
And
or
so
like
called,
bending it like Beckham in that film.
and so they were called just like
That's
that
more
one.
on brand,
That's
yes.
very on brand. So these came about because during the mid 1930s in Hollywood, you had the Hays Code, which was basically censorship in Hollywood, where you're not allowed to have any overt sexuality, right? You're not allowed to just have any kissing or any of that disgusting stuff.
You couldn't even have, when you showed a married couple's bedroom, you had to have 2 single beds, which is mad.
That's
or,
right.
Or at least not have them in bed together, so somebody's foot had to be touching the floor.
But they were called screwball comedies because they couldn't have anything really romantic or sexual. So what they leaned in on was the dialogue, right? Fast, witty, sharp. We were talking about His Girl Friday before we came in, right? What a cracking film! If anyone hasn't seen it, right?
Yeah, it's amazing, and it's like 140 words a minute dialogue, whereas a usual film is like 90 to 100. So it's literally faster talking than other films. It's amazing.
And it's so good. We watched that for our Patreon, I think.
We
few
did.
years
It
ago,
happened
yeah.
one
Brilliant.
night. Another
Yeah.
great one.
First film to win the big 5 Oscars.
Is that right?
What were
Film,
they?
director, writer, actor, and actress.
Oh
Fantastic.
wow, well deserved.
There
Yeah,
you
these
go.
are great films, and like they hold up so well, like better than probably most films made today.
But you know what? Watching back, I know we've already brought up, and we're going to get to it. Sort of rom-coms trying to appeal to men, or later on just them being totally focused at men. But what I think is interesting about this era is that the female characters are just like often running rings around the men, right?
Yeah.
And they're equals, right? Like Rosalind Russell's character in His Girl Friday is just like she's a
They're
badass.
amazing. But you'd be
So
coming out of
amazing.
World War, one of the world wars here, where women were taking men's jobs and women had this kind of newer place in society as well. And it was just, it had a very interesting feeling at the time before the more regressive again 60s.
And I think also the weird side effect of the Hays Code was you couldn't have, I'll be honest, you couldn't have prostitutes in your films as the heroines, so they had to come up with reasons that the women would be hanging out with the men. So they had to give the women jobs working with the men. So that's why you get something like His Girl Friday, which is actually a gender swap from the original play, which was 2 guys. It was the same story, but 2 guys. There wasn't the
right.
romantic element. And they made one of them a her, and then it works so much better, frankly, than
Fantastic.
the front page.
Men and women in the workplace. Imagine. What a time. What a time it was in the 1930s. But then, of course, the 1950s and 1960s came along, and that's when the sex comedies came out, right? So these films were kind of a response to that, right? They were breaking new ground in terms of sort of frankness. They were still navigating that code, the Hays Code, but they were a bit more risque, a bit more liberated, right? So examples of these being Some Like It Hot, The Apartment, The Graduate. We were talking about The Apartment just before we came in, right? Helen, tell them one of your favourite moments from that, right?
It's Jack Lemmon, who I think is better in that film than anyone has ever been in anything. He's just making pasta for her, and he uses his tennis racket to strain the pasta. Sorry, honey, my husband's Italian. But like it is just one of the most beautiful pieces of like physical performance I've ever seen in my life. He's incredible in that film. But it is, and that is a rare exception. It is his story more than hers. But I would still call it a romantic comedy because he's such a sap. He's just so you just want to like hug him and try and make it all better because he's just like lost. He's deeply lost. He's not like a big thrusting, manly man. But this was also the era, by the way, of the like Doris Day rom-coms where she's always really high achieving actually. And, again, having a fabulous life in New York and then, there's some annoying man around and then it turns out he's Rock Hudson and they should absolutely be together.
Fantastic. What other examples are there? Yeah, I know when we were talking with Helen about this, we weren't sure where to put The Graduate because it is the sort of 60s, but as you said, it kind of
feels
has
like
more of that
70s.
cynical 70s kind of edge to it. I don't know.
It looks like it's from the 70s as well, doesn't it?
It does have more of that 70s vibe, yeah. Certainly when you see Some Like It Hot and The Graduate next to each other, they feel like they're from entirely different eras, don't they?
Yeah.
All right, so sex comedies.
Which brings us to the cynical 70s.
The cynical 70s. So this is when movies could suddenly talk very freely about sex and love without innuendos, because there was a lot of innuendos back then.
And without marriage, kind of having to be within the confines of a marriage.
Exactly right. Yeah. And you don't get your happily ever afters in the cynical 70s either. So I mean, you already mentioned it earlier, Helen. But why don't you tell us a bit about sort of Annie Hall and the Woody Allen sort of era?
Yeah.
He's icky now, of course.
There's some ick involved, especially in Manhattan.
Manhattan is icky as
Whereas
well.
if you remember, he's about 40 and his girlfriend is 17.
Yeah.
17.
But Annie Hall stands up better, much better actually, and it is still, I think, a good film. It's a good film because she is as much a character as he is, and I think it's a really even-handed film that way. So she is. Okay, she's quirky, maybe a manic pixie dream girl, but she has a definite personality and style and energy all of her own. And her, her character is treated as importantly as his. Yeah. Even though again he's the focus of the story, but also he's a sad sack because, he is.
That's Diane Keaton's movie. Like she's
incredible.
So good in that. And she's such a loss as well, isn't she? That was so sad. But the style.
And she is the thing about her is she is a manic pixie dream girl, but that's actually her personality.
That's actually her. Yeah.
Yeah. So she always pulled that off.
Yeah.
Where other people would be annoying, she wasn't.
Yeah.
We forgot about the manic pixie dream girl. Is the manic pixie dream girl a requirement of a rom-com, or is it just
definitely
a
not a
subgenre?
requirement?
No.
It's a sort of subgenre, and
It's
it
like
kind
a
of
trope.
overlaps with the bromantic comedy that we're going to be talking about later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is it's kind of this. It is this male version of the perfect woman. But I find the manic pixie dream girls just annoying as hell.
They are
right?
annoying.
They're
yeah.
so annoying.
I think the kind of epitome when it peaked was, and I don't think this is really a rom-com. Remember 500 Days of Summer?
Oh,
and
God,
everyone
that's
just went,
the
I'm
worst.
done now.
Yeah,
Like, everyone was over
Zooey Deschanel, wasn't it?
And it's not her fault. Like, she's very good at playing that role. Just the film was just
No,
too
it is her
annoying.
No, it's not her
She
fault.
is.
No.
Yeah, no, she is the manic pixie dream girl in everything. That's her thing.
No, but if
isn't
you
it?
look at her, like, she kind of deconstructs that in New Girl, and so she is the manic pixie dream girl, but over, however many series, she, you get to see that that's really annoying, but also adorable.
Yeah, she is adorable.
She is adorable.
And
I
great
stand
fringe.
down because
Great
you
fringe.
watched all of New Girl and I didn't.
We're getting to the good bit now.
Yeah,
This
is
is
the
my
bit we all
era,
know.
right?
This
Is everyone agree this is the best?
This is where it gets good.
This is
Yeah.
also give or take a room of millennials. So like this is our era.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is. But I think this is so for our listeners. This is the 1980s, 1990s. We're calling it the mod rom-com. This is the modern rom-com. I think this is the defining.
You say modern, but
template.
it's like 30 to 40 years ago now.
But I
Don't say.
wait. What?
We're still young.
Yeah.
We still got it.
This is where things get real like
Real Meg Ryan.
colourful and Meg Ryan-y, yeah, and it's like these films they're bright and optimistic, and they're almost like escapist fantasies, and they're just, I don't know, they're just wonderful. But they also have this kind of grounded nature as well, like they're witty, and the best of them are witty and quick and sort of modern feeling.
And I think sincere as well. There's a sincerity to them and a hope, like you say, a hopefulness. I mean, When Harry Met Sally, obviously the greatest rom-com of all time, I think. I mean, we can have a discussion about The Apartment and His Girl Friday, but like if we're talking like the classic model of what we think of as a rom-com, it's When Harry Met Sally. And it was really written by Nora Ephron and Rob Reiner, the late great, much missed Rob Reiner, as they were both being those characters. They didn't fall in love. They weren't falling in love, but they were like best friends, and they actually had those conversations on the telephone, and they were basically transcribing their own relationship and their own debates about men and women into a movie format. So it comes from a real kind of place of, I think, angst and trying to do this search themselves and valuing friendship, but also looking for something more. And of course, you may know this already, but like they weren't going to end up together. And then Rob Reiner met and fell in love with his wife while they were making the movie. And he could not conceive of Harry and Sally not falling in love.
Shivers thinking about that.
It's such a tragedy as well.
So
and
it's
just
been
a
like
beautiful
movie.
When I think the early days of the rom-com as well, like of the mod rom-com, whatever we're calling it, what is so cool about When Harry Met Sally is like, remember there's a scene where they just take a really long car journey together. There's the scenes on the phone together saying you've got mail. There's the scene where she's like booting up the laptop and like waiting for the mail to come in. And the lack of technology, I think, also stands to these films and making them more romantic, because people had to do a lot or spend a lot of time together or be on the phone in that way. That's really hard in modern. A lot of conflict is now gone. Like, even this is not a rom-com, but when we rewatched Planes, Trains and Automobiles for our Patreon, we were like, this film could never be made again, because you just go on your phone and book a hotel or book a car or whatever. And I find that in the old rom-coms, like, I do think as a genre, it got tougher for it as, like, modern barriers fell away. And even all the conversations Harry and Sally have about men and women and battle of the sexes, it would be trite now for someone to have that. But back then it was really meaningful, because we were like coming into this era of women's liberation. So it's just such a good film. It's just, it's amazing. But like, even I was kind of just, everyone's been reflecting on it since Rob Reiner passed, but it's nothing to do with his passing. It's just so revered. And that telephone sequence where they all actually filmed at the same time, it's so cool. But look, we've all met someone who's been in a coma, and we pretended to be engaged to them, and it's gone swimmingly for us.
So relatable.
Like, that's why I love those early premises. They're mad. Like that was like, I'm now calling that Sleepless in Seattle. That's not Sleepless in Seattle. While
you were sleepless in Seattle.
But there were certain actresses like Meg Ryan or Sandra Bullock or Julia Roberts as well, where you just show off because you're like, oh yeah, it's going to be a rom-com. And like when Meg Ryan tried to move into more serious fare, people were like really angry at her.
How dare you, Meg?
Yeah, like how could you do this? Yeah.
You're right though. And Kathy, you brought this up to me earlier when we were chatting, was the deception era of rom-coms. Right?
You have to be tricking someone.
Yeah, you had to be tricking someone. So she's all that, and while you were sleeping,
Overboard, famously.
Yeah, very creepy.
It's Animal Attraction. It's also known as Someone Like You. I can't remember which is the British title and which is the US, but it's Ashley Judd and Hugh Jackman. I have a real soft spot for this one.
Just because you love Hugh Jackman.
It is the era where I was obsessed with Wolverine, yes, admittedly. But also it's just she basically has a whole secret life as a like love analyst that he doesn't know anything about, and she's basically making his life a nightmare unbeknownst to him.
Of course.
Anyway, it's cute.
Yeah, like you'd be ruining someone's life and then you'd end up with them. Like even in You Got Mail, it's so weird how he was like destroying her livelihood.
He's awful in it.
Yeah, he's horrible. And it's like Jeff Bezos coming in and you're a small bookshop owner and like you fall in love with each other. It makes no sense. But yeah, I always do think that While You Were Sleeping was like unhinged at the end. Like you just wouldn't, because she ends up with, spoilers, the brother.
Yeah.
And like, why would he date someone who pretended to be engaged to his brother who was in a coma?
Because she's
Sandra Bullock and she's really hot.
She's really, but also like I think establish that he leans really well, and they have that moment. You know?
Yeah.
I feel like with a lot of the old movies, you now have to retroactively assume consent for a lot of what went on.
Yeah.
Right? You kind of have
Yeah.
to assume that even though it's not made clear at any point that these two people know they're into each other, and it's just we're just going to hand wave it all and
Yeah.
say it's fine.
Because you're watching a rom-com.
Yeah.
right?
Hey.
But the one we watched recently for our Patreon, which I hadn't seen before, The Truth About Cats and Dogs, that's very icky.
That's weird now.
based in deception as well.
Oh yeah, well, but that's basically Cyrano de Bergerac, which is basically Roxanne,
course.
which is
Yeah,
basically the truth about cats and dogs.
Yeah.
And that is probably the Cyrano version is one of my favorite films of all time. I love it a lot.
The truth about cats and dogs holds up as well. Like, it's good
it's-
fun, yeah,
well, 'cause
but
it's-
also weird because they're tricking a man.
Yeah, it is Jen Angrolfo as well, and she's like she's got good energy, you know. Yeah.
When
Yeah,
he
like
thinks
that-
he's
that-
having phone sex, he thinks he's having phone sex with Uma Thurman, but he's actually having it with her. That's such a weird scene in retrespect.
Yeah, is that
Yeah,
okay?
that's not.
It's not okay.
Again, we're
Is it okay
retroactive.
to-
Retroactive.
Come on, everyone, answer
assumptions.
the question. yeah, yeah.
Don't get me started on Overboard, because I don't want to analyze what Kurt Russell does wrong in that film, because it's very wrong, and I love Kurt Russell, so we're just
Yeah,
not
and
going to think
It's
about it.
not
It's
right.
one of those films I watched so much as a kid, and now I'm like, I wouldn't have my kids watch that.
I don't know if you remember Overboard, people, but that's the one where the horrible woman gets amnesia, and
Goldie Hawn.
and a man who she has been mean to convinces her that she is his wife and makes her come home and clean his house and look after his children.
And they sleep
And
together,
sleep
right?
with him.
They
yeah.
do sleep together. In
Under,
fairness,
go on.
after
In
a
fairness?
while and at her behest, but nevertheless,
Right.
it's
But
still,
because she thinks that she previously consented.
Because she insisted because after he lied to her extensively about
yes.
who she is and who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But they're together in real life, so it's super cute.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
super cute. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's
So
fine.
cute.
Yeah.
La la la. Let's move on. Okay.
The teen rom-com is one
What
of my
about-
favorite subgenres of
This is a
the rom-com.
subgenre, yeah. It's not necessarily an era, but the teen rom-coms certainly sort of started off in the 80s. John Hughes, Pretty in Pink, and all that stuff. And
But
sort
this
of
is still a genre, a very strong one. It's just now like in books and on TV. Like The Summer I Turned Pretty or one of those.
That's true.
Sorts
You'd
of
never
things
see
we
a-
haven't seen because we're too old.
You'd never see a teen rom-com hit big at the box office these days, would
No,
you?
because
Well,
they
they're
go
not
on
there.
Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
they go
right.
on Netflix. You
Yeah.
get what was the To All the Boys I've Loved Before, things like that are
Yeah.
big on Netflix.
Wednesday, is that a teen rom-com?
No, it's a different. I
No.
think it's a different.
No.
Thing. But
This is
you
what
know,
I-
that kind
But
of
it,
stuff.
we're
I've
like,
seen
we're
these
like
things.
the reason we don't know the new ones is because we are too old. Because Forever by Judy Blume, which was one of my favorite books ever, they made that into a show, and I started watching it on Netflix this year, and I was like, I'm fucking too old to watch 17-year-olds like banging. Like I felt weird about it. Like there's a time in your life where you can watch them, and I just think. But we've all seen the 80s, of course.
Yes.
That you know
That was
and
age
the
appropriate
90s.
at the
It was
time.
Exactly
Yeah.
age appropriate.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, this all links back to Shakespeare, right? 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Clueless wasn't Shakespeare. That was Emma.
That was
wasn't
Emma.
It?
But
Yeah.
She's All That actually is another Shakespeare.
that a
book.
Shakespeare
Twelfth
original?
Night, I think, isn't it? She's All That. Anybody remember? She's the Man.
Oh, She's the
sorry.
Man,
It's
yeah.
Twelfth Night, isn't it? She's
There we
All That.
go.
Pygmalion.
You
There we
should
go.
be-
Thank
should be
you.
up here.
It's funny how they're all like trying to be intellectual and reference old books. It's like no one cares.
I think it's just the model works. So
Yeah.
why, if it ain't baroque, why
Yeah.
fix it?
Like when you think about She's All That now, and like I loved it, and I love Freddie Prinze Jr. And I was like, oh my god, I wish I looked like was it Rachel Lee Cook?
Jennifer Rachel Lee Cook.
And I actually, but side note, just recently rewatched the Babysitters Club movie. Totally holds up, and she's amazing, Marianne. But that like now that's so horrible. Like he made a bet about
yeah.
sleeping with her, and it's disgusting.
Yeah,
But
well,
all
it's
we
terrible.
remember is Kiss Me and her walking down the stairs and taking her glasses off and looking so pretty.
yeah.
So
but
weird.
which is the thing? Watch this.
Oh my god!
Dave's taking his glasses off. Pretty sexy.
I can't see what I'm doing.
I actually love She's the Man more. I think She's the Man is really underrated, and I think Amanda Bynes is one of the great lost stars of the early
Yeah.
noughties.
And so she dressed. She
Shout out to Amanda
pretended
Bynes.
to be a boy so she could play soccer, right?
she wanted to learn how to do an overhead kick for some reason, which is like a really basic soccer kick in this universe, and she needed Channing Tatum to teach her that. But along the way, she kind of fancied him, so
I haven't seen it. Does she do the kick in the end?
she does learn to do the kick. It's
Great.
it's a really
Not the part I
moving moment.
remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we do have 10 Things I Hate About You up there on the screen,
Oh,
and
what
oh
a
my
movie.
It's
god!
a great movie.
And again, it's actually not because Heath Ledger has passed away, albeit his passing makes you watch it with even more love. But it's always been such a great film. And another Babysitters Club star, so Dawn from the Babysitters Club is in that as well. Alex Mack. It's such a great film though, but again,
It's top five
treachery
for
and
me.
trickery.
And it's a stacked cast, like Alison Janney in a tiny little role. What's another word for tumescent? I mean, just the lines are brilliant. It's incredible.
So good.
And
And what
it's
was the
probably-
trickery there again? Someone was doing a prank on someone
Well,
else.
no, yeah, like
I think it was the same thing. It was the bet, wasn't it?
Yeah, the two young, no, not quite a bet, but the two younger men are paying Heath Ledger to go out with Julia Stiles.
That's it.
Julia O'Hara Stiles, thanks very much, practically a relation. Because unless she goes out, they can't go out with her younger sister.
Because the dad's like,
course, Dawn from
Babysitters
you'll
Club.
date when your older sister dates.
So Robin is paying the Joker to go out with Julia Stiles so that he can go out with his
There you
sister.
go.
There we go.
Yeah. It's all connected. Yeah.
Such a great movie though.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But here's a big one you need to hear. Billions. That's the amount of money in refunds the IRS has flagged for possible identity fraud. Now here's another big number. 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. One last big number. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit lifelock.com/podcast for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
All right, let's move on to this is where now Helen brought
This is where
up.
we get angry.
Right. Okay. So, for the listeners at home, we're talking about the noughties, right? When the RomComs came out. This is when RomComs started to be aimed at us awful men.
You had enough genres.
Yeah, you have every other genre, okay? Knocked up films like I Love You Man, films like The 40-Year-Old Virgin. These are basically aimed at men, not women, and there is a romantic thread there. The idea, I think, is still that the couples will go to the movies and watch it, but they are much more a kind of stereotypically male sense of humor. There's a lot more kind of gross out comedy, a lot more swearing, a lot more kind of just like juvenile.
a lot of like
stuff.
body humor,
A lot
which
of
you
body
wouldn't have
humour,
traditionally
yeah.
seen. Like as someone who's got a 6 and an 8-year-old son, like that's the humor they have, and I don't know why it crept into our genre. Like, do you remember all the trails for the 40-Year-Old Virgin were just Steve Carell getting waxed? It's like, we fucking get it. Like, we've all been waxed 1,000 times. Like, I was so annoyed to have to watch that scene. It's just so stupid.
But,
It's
but
like, let us
imagine
have
if
anything.
a man had to do it.
Yeah, like it's just so stupid. Like I know it'd be very painful for him because he's like very hairy or whatever, but like that was like the big deal of the film, which is just
Yeah.
like so. I'm sorry. Now, is anyone here? By the way, I thought Knocked Up was a cracker at the time. Really enjoyed it. I haven't rewatched, so I don't know if it ethically kind of holds up anymore.
Well, I mean, the problem I have with that film now, and I haven't, again, gone back to it and looked at it, it was trying to say some things. You know, there was prejudice against her character because she is pregnant, which is obviously a real thing that women experience, and they were trying to make a point by putting that in the film, and I appreciate that. But, you know, I think what colours my opinion of that film more is now the fallout from it, because you had Katherine Heigl say some quite mild things, suggesting that the film was a little bit sexist at times, and the way the film was received was a little bit sexist and everything else. And everyone from the film basically going nuts at her.
It was awful. Yeah, she was
And-
really mistreated.
Yeah, and I thought that was pretty poor. So
And you
that's
remember
kinda
now
coloured
as well
the
being
film.
at it and like being very young and laughing at this, but now I would be like, what's the gag? Like when the baby's crowning, and that's like the biggest joke of the film.
Oh yeah.
It's like, why was I laughing along? I don't know. Yeah, so that stuff was all a bit funny, all right. And of course, Seth Rogen playing a stoner, which I find very, very dull for him, but he has redeemed himself now with The Studio, which was one of my favourite
Oh, the
TV
ma-
shows of last
The
year.
Studio was
He is
excellent.
aging so well. And yes,
Yeah.
The Studio is incredible if you haven't seen The
Like
Studio.
him being stoned and laughing is like not acting, and yet it was in at least 20 films that we were forced to suffer through.
Yeah, but also just like it's the kind of the man-child and the uptight woman model, and
it's such a trope.
It's such a trope, and it's more a comedy trope than a rom-com trope to me,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't
Yeah,
always love it. So
Dave's whispering there's technical
yeah,
difficulties.
we're trying to figure
Don't
out
worry
the
about it. We
text.
don't need to show it. Dave just spends so long on these slides,
You
he
want
wants
to come
everyone
out
to
of
see
this?
them.
Please bear with us. We're having some technical difficulty.
Can I
Will I hit
suggest
the slideshow again?
Proposal with
No,
Sandra
please.
Bullock? Have you seen that film? That's a rom. The Proposal.
The Proposal.
Oh,
With,
The Proposal! That's a
Ryan
That
great
Reynolds.
one.
Ryan Reynolds
and
and
Sandra
yeah.
Bullock. That's kind of a bro.
That is a great one because the central conflict is, haha, she's his boss, but the roles have been reversed. And then they get engaged, and she's awful.
She
But
is
because
awful.
she's the awful one, it kind of works. Whereas if the boss had been an awful man, we would have felt icky about it.
Yeah, I think so.
They're great together, though.
They are good. They're
Yeah.
both pretty good at rom-coms, actually. I think he's underrated. I quite like that one. Oh, boy. You guys will remember it. The one where he was an overweight teen and now comes back and looks just Friends, and he now looks like Ryan Reynolds. That one I think is it's problematic, but
And actually, while we're waiting on the technical difficulties, another trope that I meant to mention, and this is a very, very negative trope about the rom-com, is both the lack of racial diversity and body diversity. So everyone was thin and white, and it was a big, big issue. And I think it was one of the reasons the rom-com started slightly fading out, because it was just, as you mentioned earlier as well, everyone living really rich lifestyles. Like Hugh Grant lives in Notting Hill, you know what I mean? So I do think the lack of any sort of diversity, and actually probably very ableist as well, like basically every ist it was. And if there was a character who was like overweight or who was non-white, they'd have always been a side character, like back in that kind of era.
oh yeah, you could have if you like. I can remember romantic films with, for example, blind people, but then it's a drama because they're tragic,
Exactly, yeah.
which is not great.
Yeah.
It's super bad at rom-com.
I don't
Superbad.
even know that it's
No.
rommy at all.
It's just a teenage
No.
comedy. It's a
Yeah.
teenage
But is it
movie.
Brahmi?
It's definitely brommy, I guess. Yeah.
It's a teen comedy. It's not rom-com.
It's a teen comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Dave's just trying to think of another movie with those people in it.
I was really trying there. Okay, so I think it's time to talk about the death of the rom-com.
R.I.P.
And I'm so sorry because your
Which
visual gag's been ruined.
we all know happened with the three posters of Matthew McConaughey leaning too hard, and he broke the structural integrity of the rom-com.
Your big gag's
And
been
it was
spoiled.
ruined forever.
Yeah.
So failure to launch, Ghost to Girlfriend's Pass, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Which, by the way, is a
I think
cracker.
this is I think this was the era where the rom-com died.
Okay, but I want to say, first of all, The Wedding Planner is not guilty. I will defend The Wedding Planner to my dying day. I think it is a great rom-com.
But he didn't lean on the poster,
He
so
didn't
it's
lean,
good.
so that's why it works. But also, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days is less guilty than the other two.
Yeah. It
The
holds
other
up.
two are bad.
Yeah.
And he got people to watch them because How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days had been pretty good.
And because he leaned.
And because maybe that's it.
Such
Maybe
a
that's
good
it.
lean.
Justice for failure to launch.
No, do
Chantel,
you
mount your defense.
Chantel, the mic is coming to you. You have the
Failure to
floor.
Launch has been unfairly maligned over the years, and I'm not here for it. It's a fun film. SJP and him have great chemistry. The side character is fun and slutty, once more a trope. The idea that he lives at home with his parents makes him a loser, which is unusual in these films. He's not this kind of great catch. It's a great film, and it talks about how men have become man-child, which is a thing that was kind of in the media at the time. It wasn't being shown in films that much.
Okay, that's a good defense.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll give
Having
it
only
another
seen
go.
it once.
Well played, Chantel.
They saw
played.
for 1 second it popped up on the screen. They saw
That
it.
was exciting, wasn't it?
They saw him leaning.
I pressed a button.
There is something from the noughties I want to mention though, because we've got an expert in the audience here, Sam Clements, on The Holiday. When was The Holiday? 2006. Oh. No, that's the noughties. Wait, I'm getting my time mixed up.
Yeah.
Can Sam have the microphone for a second? Just for a second, because he actually has made multiple podcast episodes about The Holiday and owns multiple
There's an entire
DVDs of it.
podcast about. Why don't you tell everyone about your holiday podcast, Sam?
I love to film The Holiday at the RomCom Anonymous. We made a podcast called The Holiday Season, and
Love
it was
it.
sort of the reason we made it though is because rom-coms are often not covered by like criticism or film academia in the same way as other movies. And I thought, well, this is still a film where loads of people have seen it and loads of people worked hard on it. So we made like a 10-part, very thorough documentary type series about making the film,
Incredible.
and we spoke to loads of people and yeah, I don't know, maybe we spent too long on it. But
Never.
but we just wanted to sort of say actually there's a lot of very serious stuff you can talk about with what is a frothy, fun Christmas movie.
And actually, within that film, I do remember them deconstructing the rom-com a bit and kind of talking about the meet cute, don't they?
Yeah, it's very... Nancy Myers, who wrote and directed it, is a big rom-com fan. She loves Billy Wilder, don't we all? And she modelled the film on that, and there's lots of classic Hollywood references.
When they start talking about gumption, that's 100% a Billy Wilder idea.
They even have a line which is like, meet cute. Like,
Yeah.
they're educating us through the
They
power
were.
of cinema.
And it was like peak Jude Law when he was so sexy. And it was Jack Black. Like, I love Jack Black in that film. So it is Dave. I'm sorry, Matthew McConaughey wasn't in it. So we can kind of relate it back to him. But it was a good noughties rom-com.
Yeah, but this was these movies are in the 2010s though, right?
Ah,
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, back
Famously,
to your timeline.
if you had seen the previous slide,
I had, and I got
which
confused.
said 2010,
I just wanted to hear Sam talk about The Holiday.
Yes. And shout out to Louise as well. We'll see you there next to Sam. What's your meet cute, guys? So married couple here.
Who also
putting you on the
podcast
spot.
together.
Podcasting couples, they're hot right now.
Thank you. It's not a particularly interesting story. We met at a university open day.
That's cute.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
a cute
okay.
meet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you hate each other on first sight?
No, Sam was wearing a top hat though. Which
That's quite
Quirky.
rom-comming. Oh my
Yeah.
god,
Quirky.
he's the manic pixie dream boy.
Has he ever chased you to Terminal 2? No.
Not yet.
Yeah, there's
I
still
would
time.
say-
There's still time, Sam. Her flight leaves in 40 minutes.
The rom-commy thing, though, was the situation that we were doing university open days, and then we went to other university open days together, and then fell in love.
That is
Aw.
cute. That's a montage. That's adorable.
Now I just want to pass the microphone around to all the couples. Anyone else want to tell their story? No.
No, it's actually well,
Yeah.
nobody can see her, but it's like 95% women, as we guess might have happened with the subject matter of
That's
this.
true.
Oh, and the
All
screen's
this
back
stuff
again.
happened as well.
death of the
So for
rom-com.
our listeners, there were some bad rom-coms in the 2010s.
Don't forget that one with Gwyneth Paltrow, like literally in a fat suit.
That was
No,
the one with
do
Jack
forget
Black.
that one, yeah.
we
Shallow
should all
Hal.
forget
Shallow
Shallow
Hal.
Hal.
This is when they really leaned into the like body shaming, fat shaming,
the
look
hottie
shaming.
and the naughty we
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
up here.
Mm-hmm.
So this was the era. I feel like because like we've gone through as a society, we're reevaluating the naughties now and how
Mm-hmm.
our media sort of was real toxic, and particularly the female focused stuff. And I feel like the movies were reflecting that era quite significantly, weren't they? Like these
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit. And some of them are just bad. Like Leap Year is just bad. And I think it's kind of a hate crime against all three of us.
It
if I'm
is,
honest.
yeah.
It is.
It's a racist hate
personally
crime.
offended.
So she's meant to be flying to Dublin, and then there's a storm, so her flight lands in Wales, and then she gets a boat which somehow lands in Kerry,
On the
which
the
makes
West
no
Coast.
sense.
Yeah, it makes no sense
Yeah.
geographically.
And Kerry has no like roads or cars essentially because it looks like the Cliffs of Moher, which is in Clare, because it was. And then, you know, it
and there's
just-
no electricity in the whole country.
no,
at one
pretty
point?
much no.
No, there is
It's-
electricity, but this American comes in and plugs in her hair straightener, and the whole village goes
Of
out.
course, yeah.
It's and I mean they couldn't even hire an Irish actor. Do you know what I mean? Like Matthew Good tries his best, God bless him, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
maybe good isn't the word. I'm
Big
just
fail.
saying.
Have you
And
seen
he's hot,
Blended?
like, but you can't just be hot. You also have to have, if you're going to be like the Irish, like sexy guy,
Yeah.
like cast an Irish guy.
But this is right before every actor was Irish, right?
To be fair, like not
There
every
was
Irish
none of
actor.
them.
Yeah.
And they
was
did
Irish.
try and make an Irish rom-com about this time with
P.S.
Stuart
I love
Townsend.
you.
No, remember him? About Adam. And it had
Oh,
Kate
I'd
Hudson
forgotten this.
and Stuart Townsend. And for anyone who hasn't watched About Adam, and I haven't watched it in like 20 years, I need to go back. There was some I'm pretty sure Kate Hudson was doing an Irish accent in that one.
Oh God.
So the women were all doing the fake Irish accents there, role reversal.
That's not good.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, then you've also got P.S. I Love You, which they could easily have just set in Scotland if they wanted to cast Jared
Yeah, I
Butler,
know,
but
yeah.
No, he had to try an Irish accent.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, you just sounded Scottish.
Oh, it was painful. I mean, they had Jeffrey Dean Morgan turn up at the end, but at least he didn't say anything, so he couldn't reveal how bad his accent would have been. Yeah, very upsetting.
Has anyone, total side note, but has anyone ever done a good Irish accent?
You're doing one right now. It's fantastic. It's
you.
very convincing.
It's rare.
So has anybody not
Like
Irish
any
done a
actor
good Irish
ever.
accent?
In a rom,
Mini Driver,
Mini
Circle of
Driver.
Friends. Yeah.
Circle of Friends, that's fantastic.
That's a good call,
yeah,
actually.
Mini
Yeah,
Driver's
Chris
good.
O'Donnell in Circle of Friends, bit
No,
less,
absolutely
though,
not.
Yeah.
But I still, I love it and would rewatch, obviously.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
I think people are particularly sensitive to when their own accent is being like I say, most people heard Tom Cruise in America and were like, Jesus, he's so Irish.
Yeah.
He's so good at that.
Far and
Far and
away.
away.
Yeah. And then then this happened when every movie became a date in the calendar, right?
Yeah.
Valentine's Day, New Year's Eve, Mother's Day. This was an awful era when this string of movies, I think, trying to do the Love Actually thing, where it's like let's cast
have
a lot
everybody.
of
Why cast two people when you could cast all of the people?
all of the
and
people.
none of them have to film scenes together, and none of it has to hang together, but you can get Julia Roberts
Yeah.
for like probably a day's filming and pay her like $2 million. But some of these had good directors, didn't they? Like proper rom-com directors.
I don't know.
From recollection.
You tell
Yeah,
me.
yeah, no, but they a lot of them were Gary Marshall, weren't they?
Yeah.
So
Oh,
like,
Gary Marshall, yeah.
yeah, but not
But like
good films.
And at the time, I was so thirsty and hungry for this content that like I went to the cinema and
Oh,
loved
yeah.
it. And
Oh,
then
I remember,
afterwards
Kathy.
was like, actually,
I was
this is
there.
shit. But like, I find that with the genre that like, you give it a bit of a pass that you wouldn't give others.
But it was, I mean, I couldn't even give these a pass because they were very bad. And like, so it was either dates on the calendar and getting increasingly desperate when you're getting to Mother's Day.
Is
like,
pathetic.
Come on.
Well, look, they lost half the cast as well.
Exactly.
You see here, you started with 40 cast, and then
is that
you
the one where
whittled it
Julia
down to
Roberts
4.
was like in the military?
In Mother's Day?
And she's sitting next to Bradley Cooper on the plane.
That's
That's
Valentine's
Valentine's
Day.
Sorry, thank you.
And then he's just not into you. I would put with what to expect when you're expecting. It's like, is there a self-help book that we can put on screen
that's
because people will recognize the title?
I forgot the funny thing when I was pregnant and I had what to expect when you're expecting. It's just like in this month this will happen to you, in this month that will happen to you. It's like, how did that turn into a film? Like it's a guidebook.
Badly.
Yeah,
Is the answer.
it didn't work. It's like you need more folic acid this month. That's a great film. Really interesting. Yeah, I thought this was so funny when we were looking at this. I was like, I'd forgotten how all the posters were the same poster as well. And I think Bradley Cooper was somehow in all of them.
They're desperate.
Mm-hmm.
Was How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days from a self-help book as well? Sounds like it.
No, I don't think so. No, she's writing an article.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Dave, stop slacking How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
just
Go
wanna
ahead.
really
this
hate
is
those
not the
movies.
argument.
This is not the place.
Look, I have frosted myself just like in the film.
Helen, the listeners won't realise this, but you are super sparkly and kudos.
She wore a pink jacket. There's a love heart on it, and then I was going and sparkly trousers. So you're like little manic pixie dream girl energy. And then I was going down the Meg Ryan route by wearing a long skirt. I don't have a brown paper bag filled with groceries, which is what I feel like she typically had in those movies. Yeah. Dave, who are you?
I wore a green T-shirt.
David the man who makes no effort.
We tried to get him in Aaron jumpers so he could be Billy Crystal in that one scene.
It's true. And I said I'd be way too hot in an Aaron jumper.
Because you ran to your hotel and back again.
And then, of course, we all know the rom-com was reborn in the 2020s. So there's a few sort of things we're going to dig into in the rebirth of the rom-coms. Firstly, we wanted to, like, they are kind of dead at the box office, right, for the most part.
Apart from Anyone But You, yes.
Yeah, that seems, so there's a few exceptions, right?
Sorry, this is the scene where she's got the really ill-fitting bikini. Have you seen this movie?
I haven't watched it. I just kind of annoyed by the two of them.
The back of the bikini is up like over her shoulder blades. It's like this. It's terrible.
But is that the thing? Is that the thing now? Did they do that?
I was trying to establish that, but no, I think it was just ill-fitting.
All right.
Yeah, sorry, but anyway,
I do think it was an anomaly though, because they're both just very hot property at the moment, and there was a fake thing where people pretended they pretended that they were having a romance. And it's a funny thing because it showed that like there's still an appetite at the box office, and then like nothing followed from it.
Yeah.
Which is just really interesting. And like I don't know, a lot of it we'll get to in a minute is going to like streaming. But like when we pulled up The Big Sick there, and what was the other one?
Ticket to Paradise.
So The Big Sick's brilliant, right?
That's a great
and
film.
we went to see that, didn't we? Us three.
Oh, maybe.
Did we?
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Oh, we did, didn't we?
The first time we met you, we went to see
Yeah.
The Big Sick.
Oh, yeah.
I just remember that, and you came on our podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Which was like 9 years ago. Yeah, 9 years ago. And then I wouldn't put Ticket to Paradise like at that. Like The Big Sick's brilliant, right? Ticket to Paradise is not good.
No,
Ticket to Paradise. Okay.
I had fun with it because I
had
went with my mom.
I had fun with it because it felt like, oh, movie stars.
Yeah.
I remember these.
Yeah.
And there was a kind of
They're heavy hitters.
there's
Like.
just a sense of like relaxation.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going to be charismatic. I don't have to think about it. You know, just like
And it was a
oh.
cute story. And was it that they were divorced or something?
Yeah.
Like it was cute, but like
No, it
me and my
wasn't
mom
good.
went and had fun, but it was like, okay, that's not good. Like that's not bringing the genre back.
It should have been sharper. The script should have been better.
It was something to do with their daughter's wedding.
Yeah, it was. They had to get along for their daughter's wedding's sake, basically.
It's a bit of a
but-
throwback almost. It
Yeah,
sounds
very
like.
much,
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was lovely to see those two together again. But I remember specifically though, they're such old mates, George Clooney and Julia Roberts. Like they had no chemistry. It was like watching two friends on screen, and I never felt them as a romantic couple.
Yeah.
The Big Sick, like they're married, they're brilliant together.
Yeah.
Well, we reckon that I think like a lot of things, the box office is kind of transferred to the TV. The rom-coms kind of moved to TV a lot. There's a lot of great rom-coms on TV in the past 5 or so years. Fleabag,
Fleabag's like 10 years old.
Colin from oh my God, is it what? What year is it?
Don't worry about it. It's fine. We're still young. We're hip. We got it.
But Colin from Accounts, if anyone hasn't seen it, it's an Aussie comedy. It's got 2 seasons now. It's basically a rom-com, and it's so fun. We love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So like a lot of things, I think the streaming era is kind of eaten into the box office.
Even
hasn't it?
arguably Bridgerton, you know,
Mhm.
maybe less Colin,
Yeah.
more
A lot of
bonky
rom.
bonk.
Sex,
Yeah.
sex rom. Rom
You're
sex?
leading us on to our next slide, Helen.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is your domain now, Helen.
Oh, this is
the,
Helen.
The Christmas rom-com.
So for anyone who
Right.
doesn't know, Helen hosts a Christmas movie podcast called Bah Humbug, and it's so fun. And we kind of realized as we were chatting about this, wait, basically rom-coms are just now Christmas movies. Like it's
Yeah.
solely the domain of the Christmas movie.
I mean, they'll occasionally bring one out mid-year when they have a really good idea for a title, like Falling in Love with two N's and in, and it was about somebody who inherited a falling down inn and then fell in love
Fair.
with a handyman who was rebuilding it. You know, they'll do that kind of thing on Netflix or whatever as well, but they really go to town around Christmas and they make these ludicrous movies like Hot Frosty,
I love
which
Hot
is
Frosty.
a real movie.
Tell
So
everyone
just
what
one
the
about a
synopsis of
Fun
snowman.
fact about
Yeah.
how Frosty, right? The snowman comes to life and
The
she gets
snowman
with him.
comes to
But
life.
the snowman is hotter than the man he turns into. Like
Yeah,
I've
it
never
kinda
been
is.
more repulsed by a male lead. Have you?
He's really handsome in Schitt's Creek.
Yeah, it just
He's
doesn't
just
work
not
here.
handsome in this movie.
Whatever they've done to him, whatever makeup they've put on him, it's bizarre.
It's very weird. I think it's the hair. It doesn't work at
yeah,
all.
and he starts to melt whenever he's in a warm room.
Champagne Problems was actually verging
It's
on
decent.
a normal, decent movie. Like that was not just Netflix trash.
I love that you say
By the
verging on.
standards of this genre, like it
Yeah.
was not the worst. Merry Little Xmas was. Again, it's just nice to see a movie star involved. Like Alicia Silverstone came on screen, you're like, oh, she's good.
Yeah,
I'd
Melissa Joan
forgotten.
Hart. Yeah,
I don't know. I always find when I see real movie stars in these movies, I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
no,
I get
because it's great.
disappointed.
Because like someone like Alicia Silverstone, like she doesn't really need the money, and when you do these kind of films, like the shoots are quite short, and you know she's really
It's
into
great for who?
sustainability.
For her.
She made this all like a really sustainable workplace, and everything on set was like reused and like old-fashioned or secondhand clothes, and like she did a really nice thing when she was making this film.
Why
like,
do you
walking
know
the
so
walk.
much about
I
this?
don't know.
Yeah,
Because it's Alicia Silverstone.
I'm really concerned. What else do we have? Oh yeah, and of course, like it's worth pointing out that in the past 5-10 years,
They stopped being all white
people
Yeah.
or straight
Straight
people,
people.
right? So
Mhm.
rom-coms are far more diverse now. I think we haven't actually seen Bros, but
No, Bros
Crazy
is-
Rich Asians was good.
Bros
And
was
Rylane
an
was good.
Honorable failure. I think it's again, it should have been sharper. It's what's there is fine, but it's not quite as sharp as it should have been. Rylane is just one of the
I
best
love Rylane.
films of
Yeah,
that year.
it's
It's a
amazing. Great film.
phenomenal movie.
Also, he's one of the next big
Oh, he is,
actors of his
yeah,
time. He's
he is.
incredible, David
We
Johnson.
were,
David
what, was he in The Long Walk?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right, he's
like,
in The
how
Long
do
Walk.
we know that guy? Because the
Yeah,
last
he's
film
amazing.
we'd seen him in it, but he's amazing in The Long Walk
Yeah.
as well. He's the best thing in
Alien
it.
Romulus. He's Wasteman coming up. He's an incredible actor.
And Crazy Rich Asians was just so good because it was like I think the first ever big box office that was like all Asian leads, aside like in that genre.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah.
Like the Joy Luck Club, I think was the last, but that was a drama. So yeah.
Yeah,
It was,
really
one
good.
of those ones where it just cleaned up at the box office, and then all the analysis was like, "Whoa, no one saw this coming," because you've a completely underserved audience.
Yeah,
who,
so
like,
stupid.
it's
Like, yeah.
Bro wasn't is Bros the one where Billy on the street got real salty that his movie didn't make a lot of money, right, or something? or-
Yeah, a little bit,
yeah.
a little bit. But
Yeah, there was
you
some
know,
salt.
It was very much sold on the basis that everybody involved was LGBTQ plus.
Yeah.
Which
Which
is
is cool.
Which
Which
is
is
good.
cool.
Yeah.
But you can't like hang. That can't be the only reason for people to see your movie. It
Yeah,
has to
the
be
movie has to be really,
really
good
funny
as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. What about this? Kathy, you wanted to talk about
Oh yeah, I made this slide. More sex, less
Yeah.
calm. So we've got normal people, we've got heated rivalry, and we've got Bridgerton. And there's a new season of Bridgerton coming out. I have to say I never stuck around with Bridgerton, like I haven't, but the first season was a cracker. Heated rivalry we were still in the middle of and haven't finished, but we love it. And then Normal People was like misery porn, but was like, you know, Paul Mescal's breakout, Daisy Edgar-Jones was brilliant. Like this is very much like even in literature now, like sexy, smutty. We've been talking about this. Real like romance is taking off, and I just do think that the space now for comedy, it might be romantic tinged, but it will never just be rom-com again. Like I do really think that the rom-com as we know it probably will never be in the box office again.
I hope that it will, because I hope that I just hope it'll kind of come back to movie, to theaters, to cinemas, the whole rest. But I do think that I think this is also a good thing, because straight up romance coming to being taken seriously and being taken seriously as a box office or a successful TV prospect, that is a good thing. And again, the romance genre has been absolutely slagged off and discounted by quote unquote serious critics forever. And it's good that it's being taken seriously. Of course, it's interesting that it's like heated rivalry is the one that's kind of tipping the tide because it's male focused, obviously. But at the same time, like it is still a female dominated genre, and it's interesting to see that it might now have a bit of a wind behind it. I don't know if anybody. I think the real test of how seriously people are taking romance will be if anybody gets into budgets big enough to do romantasy, which is the biggest
Such a
thing
big
happening
genre.
in books right now.
It's
Right?
propping up the industry.
Yeah,
isn't
women
it?
buying romantasy is.
Sarah J. Maas and sort of slutty fairies is like super
Slutty
big
fairies.
in books right now. But of course, to put them on screen, you've got to give people wings and shit and like have them flying around fighting dragons.
Yeah.
So
Give
I
it to
don't
James
know.
Cameron.
No.
Yeah, but that's the question.
He'll give
like,
you some slutty fairies.
Is anybody going to put the money behind adapting one of those? That would be that
like
would
the
be
money
real.
on Heated Rivalry is hilarious how cheaply they made it. Like when they have the hockey matches, it's just the two lads with like your camera zoomed in on them. They're like, there's no crowd scenes.
Yeah.
I love, but they really show what you can do with a low budget. Obviously, romance you couldn't do it, but like romance can be cheap, you know. So I do
Romance
think
can be
it
cheap.
can be.
You've heard it
But
here.
I do think with Heated Rivalry as well, you know the way executives always take the wrong thing. They'd be like, more hockey.
Oh.
They always take the wrong thing.
But this is like, I mean, back in the noughties, you had in a row. I remember this happening. Mamma Mia, Eat, Pray, Love, and Devil Wears Prada were all described as sleeper hits. Who the fuck, excuse my language, didn't see those coming?
Yeah.
Right? Two of them based on best-selling books, one of them based on a hugely successful musical.
Which have been running for like 20 years
Yeah,
or something.
how did you not see those coming? But basically, women were treated as an aberration. If they went to the cinema, that was treated as a completely unpredictable event that no one could have seen coming because no one was paying attention.
Yeah,
The same
and
thing
women
happened
spend
with
more
Barbie.
money. Like in the
Everyone's
households,
like-
women hold the purse strings. You should read Helen's book, Women versus Hollywood, which I love because she talks about, for example, how like if a woman directs the first movie of a franchise, like say in Mamma Mia, or indeed in like 50 Shades of Grey, and then the movie takes off, and then they're like, oh, those women directors can fuck off now, we put it into a man's hand, and then the second movies aren't even as good. Like, it is a mad thing. Actually, we could talk about that all night, but I'm conscious we're going to have to wrap up, and I now just want to talk about Women versus Hollywood. We were all going to recommend a movie that you guys mightn't have seen.
Yeah, quick fire. We'll do our favorite rom-com. We'll do a hidden gem, and then we'll maybe just have a quick conversation with the audience.
we've time.
Do we have a bit of time? 5 minutes? What do we? Yeah, perfect. Okay. Helen, what's your favorite rom-com?
Favorite is genuinely probably a tie between His Girl Friday and Cyrano de Bergerac. I know he's problematic, but it is the French version from 1991 with what's his name?
Jerry Depardieu.
Depardieu, thank you.
Yeah.
Brain fart. The hidden gem. I've mentioned a bunch of them, but I'm going to say Kissing Jessica Stein, which is basically two straight women experimenting with dating each other because men are so awful, and seeing if that works out. So it's just really quite cute and funny.
Okay, so key takeaways: romance is cheap, men are awful. Kathy, what's your favorite rom-com and hidden gem?
Oh, I find it really hard because like it's so embarrassing, but probably my favorite is something like My Best Friend's Wedding or any of those 90 heydays, like Sleepless in Seattle. Is that a rom-com? Yeah.
Oh,
I
God,
love
yeah.
Sleepless
Yeah,
in Seattle or anything with Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks, to be honest. And a recommendation.
Joe versus Volcano.
Joe versus Volcano. I love Joe versus Volcano. And then I wanted to recommend a film that actually Grania from the Way They Were podcast recommended to me last week, or well, recommended to all of her followers, but of course I took it as a personal recommendation. It's called A Nice Indian Boy. So it only came out last year. Have you seen it? It's on Sky Cinema.
We watched this. It's great. It's really good.
So
movie.
nice. We watched it Saturday night. It's like a nice, first of all, nice length. Like any good rom-com should be around 90 minutes. Jonathan Groff, he starts dating an Indian guy, and it's kind of like about clash of cultures because he's white, but that's not really what the film is about. The film's just a lovely, good, great meet cute, barriers holding them apart. And again, I think it's so interesting that like so much of the rom-com has moved into gay relationships now, because I do think like this is dark and Dave hates when I say this, but like a lot of women are just so repulsed by straight men right now that like it's just really nice to watch films where they're not centered. I'm not saying that's me, but it's really nice to like to watch a gay love story.
Hashtag not all men.
Yeah, hashtag not all men, but hashtag always men.
Yeah, love you, honey.
Can my favorite rom-com be The Princess Bride? Is that a
can
rom-com?
be.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
it's romantic and
Yeah.
it's funny.
Yeah, you've got
Um,
Wesley in it.
And my hidden gem is also an Indian-based one. It's The Lunchbox from 2013. Has anyone
Yeah.
seen that? Oh
Beautiful
yeah, so
movie.
good.
Mhm.
For anyone who doesn't know, I think it's Mumbai, and there's a whole like industry there where I think typically men going back would have their lunches delivered to them by
be
their
cooked by
wives who
women.
are at home. They're cooking their lunches
Like fresh meals.
fresh every day, and then there's like it was before like Deliveroo and Uber Eats, but there was literally a whole like just bikes going around Mumbai delivering lunches to the lads working. But these the
Crosswires.
crossed wires. One woman her lunches are being delivered to the wrong guy.
Yeah,
and
it's
then he's
really
like,
cute.
Then they start writing letters to each other, and I won't tell you what happens.
Mhm.
They fall in love.
Yeah.
And right, we're going to do a bit of an audience Q&A then before we wrap up. Does anyone have any questions or anything you'd just like to say? Any of your favorite rom-coms or hidden gems that you'd like to recommend to the audience here, or
you don't have to talk about
listeners
rom-coms. You
in
can
the
ask us
future?
anything.
You can ask us anything. What are you doing?
About rom-coms.
About rom-coms. Okay. Anybody at all? This is great. We've got a question
there we
here.
go.
Hi, Maggie.
Oh, Dave's Aunt Maggie. Hi, Maggie.
Hi, Maggie.
I just wanted to give a shout out to the older woman that was captured in rom-coms by Nora Ephraim. Like it's
Yeah.
it's complicated. Well, I'm not sure if it's complicated with hers. I think it was, and the other one with Diane Keaton, the amazing one with Jack Nicholson and.
Something's Gotta
Something's
Give.
Out.
Something's Gotta
And
Give.
Keanu Reeves is the hot doctor.
Yeah.
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 Very
So
hot doctor.
I
Wrong decision, Diane.
Come on,
Jesus.
Diane. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a tricky one. But I loved that, it wasn't always, somebody young and, that there was. The older woman got captured there too.
Great shout.
Yeah.
And that's a really another underserved audience is like, Exotic Marigold Hotel comes out and does
they're
big,
like, oh,
big
old
business.
people
And they're
like
like,
the
what?
cinema."
Old people like movies?
But it's like when we rewatched My Best Friend's Wedding recently, we were like, this is so silly. The pact was that if they weren't married by the time they were 27, they had to get married. And also when you rewatch that film, like Cameron Diaz is 20 and she's giving up her degree to marry like some fucking loser.
Oh, yeah, it's weird.
It's so weird
it's
now
hard,
as well.
it's
So like the
hard.
age profile is so low in
Yeah.
those films. Like it is bizarre.
I do think, though, that the real romance in every single one of those movies you mentioned is with the kitchen. Because the kitchens in those houses, and you know this in The Holiday as well, good Lord,
Unbelievable,
Nancy
yeah.
Myers in a kitchen.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. That's our
Stop.
porn.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Bridgerton, whatever.
Yeah.
Give me one of those kitchens.
Give me one of those kitchens. And we got
the
Chantal.
kitchen does get real hot as well, doesn't it? When the oven's on. Anybody else? Hi, thank you.
Hi,
Yeah,
it's
John
me
likes
again.
my dad joke.
I just had a theory about the manic pixie dream girl.
Mhm.
I once spent the very early days of ChatGPT. I spent literally 2.5 hours talking about manic pixie dream girls with ChatGPT.
That sounds fun.
It really was. And I came to a realization that the original Manic Pixie Dream Girl was named that by a guy who was writing an article about that rom-com with Orlando Bloom and Kirsten Dunst.
Elizabethtown.
Elizabethtown with by
Cameron
Cameron
Crowe.
Crowe.
Yeah.
Exactly, the amazing Cameron Crowe. And then I started working backwards from that and realized that that was written by Cameron Crowe, who started out as a music journalist, who famously made Almost Famous, which I love and it's incredible. The Manic Pixie Dream Girl is based on groupies. That's who it's based
Because
on.
they adore you.
Because they adore them, and they're the ones that are muses for the men. And
Such a
that's
good
where
point.
it comes from, and that's my theory. Thank you very much.
That is your TED Talk.
That is my
Round
TED
of
Talk. But
applause.
they are based on groupers. They're there to be gorgeous and lovely, and they inspire you, and they have no personality of their own. You just see them in every town you're in.
Yeah.
Because she is Kate Hudson in Almost Famous is in many ways, Penny Lane is in many ways a Manic Pixie Dream Girl in that respect. And it's clear that that's where that comes from. They're groupies.
I think that's
Justice
right.
for groupies.
I think that's the thing with the Manic Pixie Dream Girl is they've tried to make her a character by giving her quirks, but they haven't given her desires beyond the guy. Like she doesn't really have anything powering her internally.
No, she's just kooky, isn't she?
She just will
So
trip
kooky.
over anything
she-
that's in front of her.
And she doesn't demand anything really from them except that they experience life, you know?
Yeah.
Just let yourself go. Have fun.
I just had a thought because you were talking about ChatGPT. It like we're in an era now where people are falling in love with ChatGPT, and there's companion bots, and there's all this kind of stuff. I know we had her with what's his name?
Joaquin Phoenix.
That guy.
I read an article about someone who left her husband for ChatGPT. So
there you go. Are we gonna get a rom-com with someone?
But again, it doesn't work. It's like
AIs,
Tinder. Someone
rom-com?
typing is not like inherently interesting,
Yeah,
right?
you're right.
I'm so sorry. We're going to have to wrap up because there's actually going to be a film on here afterwards.
Oh, what? A film?
Thank you so much to our amazing audience. It's so fun to meet you guys in person. Can't wait to chat after. We're going to go for a drink in the Curzon bar for anyone who wants to come. And our amazing guest, Helen O'Hara.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you for
guys.
coming. You just know so
Thank
much
you,
more
Helen.
about movies than we
Oh,
do.
no, no.
And thanks to the Curzon Cinema for having us, of course. And thank you to Anthony, who's at the back there, who invited us to do this. Thank you so much, Anthony.
Thanks, everybody. And thank you to all of you for coming.